Hello, Aubrey. How's it going today?
I'm great, Lindsay. How are you?
I'm feeling good. Yeah, I'm ready for a trip to New York this weekend, actually. I'm
You're going to
excited.
New York? Oh, that's so
Yes.
fun. Are you
Yes.
visiting friends, family?
No, just going to see
Just for
the
fun.
play Wicked. Going to see Wicked. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so fun. And then
Mhm.
you're going to wait and watch the movie after, I assume? That's the way to do it.
Exactly. Yep, looking forward
Nice.
to it. So we're getting on the plane this afternoon. Should be
Oh, so
great.
fun. Have an
Yeah.
amazing trip.
Thank you. Yeah.
I have a question for you to start us out here,
Okay.
okay?
Yes.
How long have you lived in Denver?
Ooh, I've lived here for I think 6 years.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
I have another question actually that's gonna
Mhm.
use some of the grammar we're talking about today, some of the
Okay.
vocabulary.
Yeah.
How long has it been since you've been to New York?
Ooh, it's been I think it's actually been close to 5 or 6 years since I've been to New York. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. And you could say, "Oh, I haven't been to New York since
Mhm.
2019, maybe
Yep.
something like that, right?
We have a lot of
This
options. Yeah.
Yes, so many options. This is going to be a great episode. We see mistakes about this a lot in English,
Mhm.
often because students are translating from their first language and
Yes.
prepositions work differently in languages. So we're talking about when to use for, during, and since today.
I love that. I love that. And we've heard a couple, yeah, like you said, we've heard a couple mistakes in our open conversation club. We're pointing them out today. And we just love interacting with our students. We get a chance to really understand the challenges, right? That our listeners
Absolutely.
are, yeah,
They
love
have
it.
great questions. They're bringing up interesting things where they're seeing the difference between their first language and English and realizing, I think I'm making a mistake with this. And then often we're able to use those great ideas on the podcast. It's
You
amazing.
got it. All right. So, just a reminder, everyone, go ahead and hit the follow button right here on All Ears English so you don't miss a single one of these episodes. This week and last week, we've been doing some grammar stuff, really giving you some good hints to get on the right track grammar wise. All right.
Yes, be sure to hit follow so you don't miss any of these episodes. They can just drop right into your queue.
All right. Where do we go from here, Aubrey?
Well, let's point out some of the common mistakes that we hear. For example, we might hear someone say, I've been here during 3 years, right? So they're
Mm-hmm.
just choosing the wrong preposition. During wouldn't work there. Or
Mm-hmm.
maybe they'll say, I've been here since 3 years. That also wouldn't work. It's very specific when it comes to prepositions of time, which one you have to use.
Yes, really important. And again, as you said earlier, often it's a translation from your native
Yeah.
language. So we need to find a way to stop translating and just instead learning these as chunks based on
Yes.
situations.
And I
Yeah.
know I do this in Spanish, French.
Oh,
We do
yeah.
this in the languages we're learning.
Oh,
It's so common because we're just sort of saying the way what we think it would be in English.
yes, exactly. And that's okay. But as we move into B2, C1, we're going to start to see ourselves doing that less and moving
Yeah,
into speaking in a more natural way.
absolutely. So let's dive in first with for. When would
Mhm.
we use for?
All right. So for indicates the duration of time that something lasts or how long it happens or has been happening. Okay.
Exactly. So it's always followed by an amount of time.
So, for example, she's been learning English for 10 years.
Yes, or he's had that job for 6 months. So
hmm
after for, we're saying a specific duration of time.
Duration. I love that. Or we've been friends for ages. So, this is an interesting one, Aubrey. Little bonus today.
Exactly. We have some time words like ages that are a little more general,
hmm
especially when we're exaggerating, right? Maybe
Yes.
they've been friends for 20 years, not actually like eras, the Jurassic and right, but we
Right.
say ages and we would use for this because it's still a duration of time,
It is a duration of time. Exactly. We don't need to know exactly how long. Like you said, probably 20, not necessarily eons. Right.
right? But they would say for ages, for eons, and
Yeah.
we would not say since or during ages, right? This has to follow for.
Love it. Okay. Now let's flip over to since different, right?
Yes, this refers to the starting point of an action that continues up to the present moment. So
hmm
it will be followed by a specific time or day or date or year.
Okay. So, for example, we've been trying to figure this out since 2 a.m. They've been up all night,
Oh, that
right?
sounds miserable. What if it's an
Yeah.
IT issue
Oh,
or
no.
children are throwing up? That's I've been trying to
Oh,
figure something out since 2 a.m. It's a
I'm
sick child.
Yeah, I'm sure you've been in that place before, Aubrey, with kids, right?
Oh
Something is keeping you up all night. Oh gosh. Yeah,
yes,
seems
exactly. Or
hard.
maybe he hasn't called me since Tuesday. This could come up with dating if you're
Mhm.
counting the days and telling a friend, wow, he hasn't called me
Yep,
since
yep,
Monday. Thursday
yep.
will follow since with a day of the week.
Yeah, and just so our listeners know, guys, we did an episode on dating in American culture just a few episodes back in 2372. So go and check that one out if you're interested in dating. All right.
Yes, that was really interesting, especially like the newest vocabulary that's being
Mm-hmm.
used around dating.
Yes. Next one. I haven't gone on a hike since March 4th. All right. A
Right? So
very
this will be a
specific date.
specific date, right? If you remember the date something happened for some reason, then we'd use since March 4th.
Yes. And what would be another one, Aubrey?
They've known each other since 2004, right?
Mm,
So if you don't know the specific time, you might just say they've known each other for ages. But if you know the time and you're being specific about the year or the day, that's when you'll use since.
yeah. And we have to be careful here because sometimes since can be similar to because, right?
That's the tricky thing, right? It's also used as a conjunction with a
Mm-hmm.
similar meaning to because. So you just
Mm-hmm.
have to look at how it's used in the sentence. Is after since, are we giving the reason for something? If
Yeah.
so, it's a conjunction. That's different. It's not a preposition,
Got to look at the context, right? Good.
right?
All right. We have a third one that we've added on, which is during. Okay.
Yes, this specifies when something happens within a time frame or event.
All right. So, for example, she got a phone call during class. So, class was going on and she got a phone call.
Exactly, right? Every now and then I'll hear my phone buzzing. I'm getting a phone call during a
Right.
podcast recording.
Yes.
I'm like,
Yes.
just make sure it's not the school.
Yeah.
Everyone else can wait.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Or during our vacation, we visited as many museums as possible. Okay. Good.
Yeah, so we often use this at the beginning of a sentence like this, during, and then you name the event. And in
Mhm.
this case, there will be a comma after because it's an introductory adverb clause. We talked about these recently on one of our grammar episodes. You
Yep.
always have to follow these with a comma.
Awesome. Love it. Okay, Aubrey, let's put this into action here. I know that our listeners love our trademark role plays here. So let's go for one. All
Yeah,
right.
we're neighbors here. I am your new neighbor. And then we just ran into each other at the park.
All right, here we go. Hi there. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Thank you.
When did you move in?
We've been here for about a month. We didn't want to move during the school year, so we waited until summer break.
Smart. Well, we're so excited to meet you. Where did you move from?
Chicago. We had lived there since 2002.
Oh, so it'd been a while since you moved.
Yeah, we hadn't moved for over 20 years.
Oh, we got a lot going on in this role play. A little past perfect going on. Love it. Love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting pointing out the grammar tenses because when it comes to these prepositions, we can't use like present simple and then just
Mhm.
choose for, since, or during and
Right.
expect it to be correct.
Right.
These are often going to be past tenses, past perfect progressive,
Present
depending on the
perfect.
meaning of the sentence.
All right, let's go through it and look at the tenses too. So you said, we've been here for about a month, right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
that have been here. We
Hmm.
have the past perfect here, and then for about or present perfect
Present perfect. Yeah.
for about a month. So we're choosing
Yes.
for because
Hmm.
we're naming the duration of time after.
Duration of time. Love it. And then you said we didn't want to move during the school year, right?
Yeah, and here we're naming the event that it happened during, right? That's the
Mm-hmm.
school year. We didn't want to move in the middle of the school year during the school year.
Yes. And then I asked you where you moved from. You said Chicago, great city, by the way. And you
Yes.
said we had lived there since 2002. And so that's two steps back from the present, right? It's not the
Right.
past tense,
Use
it's before the
past
past tense.
perfect.
Yes.
Tricky.
Nice. Yeah.
And then you said it had been a while since you moved. So again, the past perfect, because
Yeah.
like you said, we're talking about two steps. We're imagining ourselves in Chicago in the past.
Yeah.
And then we're saying before that, it had been a while since you
Yeah.
moved. So we use past perfect.
And I will say that on the show we do say, and I think it is true, you don't often see the past perfect in conversations. It just doesn't come up that much, but this is a realistic conversation. So you do need to know it, obviously, right? Because it will come up sometimes. Um,
Exactly, right? This is the exact kind of scenario where you're asking someone, "Oh, what happened before that?"
exactly. And then you said, yes, we hadn't moved for over 20 years. Love it.
Yeah, again, past perfect had not moved for, and then again, we're using for here because we're sharing the duration of time for 20 years.
Yes, a duration of time. All right. So hopefully that clarified for our listeners. Aubrey, what do we need to know next?
Yeah, we definitely want to do part two here
Yeah.
because these verb tenses are a little tricky and it
hmm
can be difficult to know if you're choosing for, since, or during, which verb tense should you choose. And we do
Yes.
hear a lot of mistakes where someone will choose past simple. They might say, he lives here for 3 years or he lives here
Mm,
during 3 years. So often
yeah,
we're because we're trying to use the correct preposition, we can't also think about the verb. There's a lot to think about here. So we'll
that's
definitely
right.
do a part two.
Yeah, we'll come back to it and send in your questions. If these episodes spark any questions, send them in to support@allearsenglish.com and hit the follow button to get that part two episode. Aubrey, any final thoughts for our listeners?
Yeah, I think it's so important to not translate from your first language. You're not
hmm
alone. We find ourselves doing it too, but it is going to cause us to make these mistakes with preposition choice, with verb tenses that work differently in other languages. So instead, be, observant of language as you're taking it in so
yes.
that you'll know, how to replicate it.
Yes, I love that. Great final thought. All right, Aubrey. Well, thanks for being on the show today, and I will see you back on here very soon. All right.
Awesome. See you next time.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Bye.